Yo, and we are live. Hello. Welcome to another show. World famous plant eating squid show. Let's get right up in it. Man, what a last nice couple set of days here. Very interesting. Playing a lot of Diablo. We're on Act 3, I think, or some shit. I have no idea. So we're on Act 3. Still got a bit. We'll go over a little bit of the Twitch stuff here, at least future stuff for us here. There's a lot of different crazy things happening with Twitch here, so you might see me more on the other platforms, more so on Kick and YouTube. We might even start doing more Kick streams, so we might even have like chill times of squids on there or something. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But that's not really going to change until like the start of next month, because next month, basically, long story short, how this new stuff affects me is I'll have to basically only, like, if I'm streaming on Twitch, only stream on Twitch, which sucks. So I can't be simultaneously streaming, which me as a growing streamer, it's like kind of neat to do that. But hey, Twitch wants more money, so we'll probably make it a once or twice a week thing on Twitch. So that won't be until like next month. So stay tuned on that. So if anything, YouTube is where you would really want to be, because YouTube will have pretty much all the stuff. Try to figure out how to get my Twitch or my Kick recordings, because I can't get Kick recordings. I'll have to just grab the recording off of the software that I use, but for some reason it didn't save the one time. So yeah, I don't have that last stream that I had on there, so it's really weird right now. So I might just start doing more YouTube streams and other streams too, but Twitch will be probably diminished a little bit, if not prioritized, depending on how it goes. So all right, so let's see here. Got a couple things to go over. Still waiting for the new Luna games for this month, Parish and Haven, which I think will be honestly in the middle of the month, so we'll see those then. We'll wait and see what GFN has for this week, which will be on Thursday. I feel like I forget today's Tuesday, but yeah. So in about 2 days, we'll see what GFN has cooking. Xbox had a big launch today with Diablo, soon with PlayStation and PC. But, whew, man, still needs a lot of work on this game. I'll tell you that much. Still needs a lot of work on this game. Between just the stuff that I'm streaming and then just the content that I came across, and then just like it crashing and just yeah, it's been a fun time. It's been a very fun time. But let's jump into that. So I got a lot of videos queued up here, mostly Diablo oriented. And then we got some other stuff. My bad. It just showed the Xbox. It's like, hey, get the Xbox Series X. Nothing special though. All right. Okay, and then we got these later. So we'll watch this Diablo stuff, because did just come out. It came out a little bit earlier yesterday, so got to play that earlier. But this is the day that they got to play it.
I speak now to those who heed a darker call.
Oh shit!
Those bold enough to cross the line of sin. Who follow an unquenchable yearning, born of blood and bone.
Well then. Well then. Let's watch these though.
The story in Diablo 4 will appeal to both new players and hardcore Diablo fans. And when writing this next chapter, we really wanted to return to our darker roots.
Sanctuary is in a very interesting state right now. It's 50 years after Reaper of Souls from Diablo 3, where half of the population was exterminated by an archangel. The world has seen quite a bit of changes, quite a bit of scarring from its wounds that have not totally healed.
In these years of death and decimation, power vacuums have opened up and been filled by various factions you'll actually get to interact with in Diablo 4. Heroes of the past that we've known and loved have long since faded into memory, as well as an iconic order known as the Haradrim.
The world is a bit broken and wounded, and it's in this fragile state that Inarius and Lilith return, and they are the makers of Sanctuary, and their return may not mean the best for humanity.
Before Sanctuary was created, the heavens and the hells were battling each other in a non-stop war. Our Sanctuary was created by disenfranchised rebel angels and demons that wanted out. They didn't want to be a part of this never-ending war because there was literally no point. Two of those people were Inarius and Lilith.
Lilith is a demon and Inarius is an angel. They were part of the eternal conflict between heaven and hell, in which they were constantly fighting with each other.
When Lilith captured Inarius, she was ready to torture him, but when she learned that they're of like mind, she became his partner in crime. They stole a singular, most important object known as the World Stone, a massive, iconic, mountain-sized gem that has the ability of creation.
Inarius and Lilith helped to create the world of Sanctuary.
And that's where the name of the world comes from. It was their sanctuary to hide away from the eternal conflict.
They both have similar goals, but as an angel and as a demon, have different ways of going about it.
Inevitably, it wasn't going to last. They've clashed multiple times throughout the history of the Diablo universe, and the last time they met, Inarius banished Lilith from the world and locked her in this realm of darkness.
We wouldn't see Lilith again until the cinematic By 3 They Come, when a mysterious figure pulled her back into Sanctuary and set her loose on the world she helped create.
Inarius also suffered when the heavens found out where he was and what he had done, that he had created this world. He was punished and handed over to the burning hells as a peace offering.
Because of these two experiences, both Lilith and Inarius do share that they were betrayed and they've been disillusioned. That does not mean that they get along.
There's this rare moment in time where Inarius and Lilith are back on the world.
It is them fighting each other with humanity as their battleground.
When the story of Diablo 4 begins, this wanderer is trudging through the snowstorm in a place called the Fractured Peaks. Really, they're just looking for some shelter.
The player character in Diablo 4 is whoever the player wants to be. Are they running from something? Are they running to something? What kind of a person are they? We leave that up to them to decide.
They are seeking refuge from this blistering cold that saturates everything within the Fractured Peaks. They find a cave, and it is that moment where they're pulled into the bigger events of Sanctuary, these monumental moments that will be taking place that will shape and shake the world. It has been 50 years since Malthael, the aspect of death, culled about 50% of humanity. Humans struggle to survive in that 50-year gap after that massive culling. The humanity itself is trapped between the high heavens and the burning hells, and each are trying to influence humanity in their own way. The player's asked to save Sanctuary by a specific character that we actually remember from Reaper of Souls. His name is Lorath Nar.
Lorath in Diablo 4 is not the same Lorath from Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. He's a changed man. He was a member of the Herodrim. And the Herodrim is this secretive order of scholars and mages who protect the world from demons and other supernatural threats.
Lorath is much older and weathered from the things that he's seen. He is struggling with who he is with the Herodrim and even without the Herodrim.
When Lorath learns of the player's interactions with a being that he remembers very well, he pulls him into this mission to stop Lilith.
They will need to try to figure out a way to survive in the world of Sanctuary in all of its turmoil since Lilith has come back. We have a lot of new characters that you'll be experiencing in the world of Sanctuary. One of them is Prava. She leads the Cathedral of Light. The Cathedral of Light is a militaristic faction led by Inarius. Inarius is the ultimate supreme leader, but she handles the day-to-day.
She acts as a bridge between Inarius and the other followers of the Cathedral of Light.
She was at rock bottom when Inarius met her. As you can imagine, on Sanctuary, life is brutal. Inarius uplifted her and taught her the tenets of the Cathedral of Light.
Ever since then, she's become his most loyal, fervent follower. She would do anything for him, and she just really believes in what he stands for.
Inarius is in various states of bitterness. You're seeing a faction that has done as much good as necessarily bad. You as a player get to decide how you feel about those actions, and Prava will be at the forefront of all of it.
Donan, he's one of the Herodrim. He is this very gifted mage who also is a scholar. We find him in this place called Scotland, where he's made a name for himself and become something of a hero. In Diablo 4, we'll find out what Donan's relationship with Lorath is and the Herodrim and how he became a hero in this place. Neyrelle is this young adventurer. She has traveled the world with her mother, looking for lost artifacts. She's spent her life going through old ruins and reading old texts and learning these arcane things. Together, they're searching for the remnants of the Herodrim. They believe in finding that, they'll find some purpose.
She is someone who is very intent on stopping Lilith, so she becomes a very strong ally for you and for Lorath throughout the game.
It's through her actions that Lorath and the group that you will follow will come to contend against Lilith.
Something that we tried to do from a narrative perspective is create people that are living in a very dark place, but still trying their best to live.
They'll have some scars, but they also have these pieces of beauty and humanity. We wanted to ground them in the circumstances of the world and make them feel real and relatable.
With Diablo 4, you're very much watching a tragedy unfold. It's definitely a story that we wanted to create around people, not just the apocalyptic elements that surround the story. And that's something that we really sought to bring to you as a part of the Diablo narrative.
Lilith is free, she has some followers, and she's back on her old business. She's gonna corrupt us or try to turn us to her side for her own ends.
The story of Lilith and Inarius is the darkest story we've ever told, and it expands the mythos of Sanctuary and the lore of the series like never before.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. Much more Diablo stuff here. We'll take a mini break on the Diablo stuff here in a second. But
Will you save us?
yep.
Will you make them suffer?
Yep, that's what I'm gonna play next. Some fucking sorcerer. The Necromancer though, dude. Fuck. Druid is sick too though. Love it.
Will you fight the darkness?
Please.
remember terror.
Oh. Oh shit.
Hi everyone, I'm Rod Ferguson, General Manager for all things Diablo.
And I'm Joe Shelley, Game Director for Diablo 4. It's finally here. We're excited to announce that Diablo 4 is available now on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
You know, it's been a long time coming, and everyone on the team has worked incredibly hard to bring you this game we love. The gates of hell have opened, and we're so happy for you to join us in Sanctuary. Now, Diablo 4 is truly a huge evolution for the franchise. So, Joe, what are you most excited for players to experience?
It's hard to choose. Diablo 4 offers so much more for players to do than ever before. The game was built with player choice in mind, allowing you to play the way you want to play. Whether that's diving into the massive story, exploring dungeons, or just roaming the open world, slaying any demon that comes your way. I'm most interested in seeing all the different builds players create.
It's true, with 5 different classes to choose from, including many old favorites like, you know, Necromain for life, there's a playstyle for everybody.
That's right. I love playing the Rogue because it's the perfect hybrid class, whether you want to stab demons with daggers or shoot them from afar with a bow. There are endless ways to build and customize your character. Whether you love theory crafting with skills and Paragon boards, or designing the perfect look with all of our character customization options.
Well, for me personally, I can't wait for everyone to see the scope of the story we've been working on.
It's the biggest story we've ever put into a Diablo game, and you can play it in any order. The story has you travel across Sanctuary and delve even deeper into its characters, especially its 2 creators.
I can't wait for players to experience the final showdown between Lilith and Anarius. I mean, it's been thousands of years in the making, and it's going to be truly epic. But of course, it doesn't end there.
That's true. Once players reach the end game, they'll be able to dive into nightmare dungeons, brave hell tides, and dominate foes in PvP.
And so with all that, we want to thank you all so much for your support in the creation of this game, and to let you know that we're just getting started.
We'll see you in hell.
Hail Lilith. Blessed
See you
Mother.
now. I like that guy. He's a little clever. See you in hell. Alright, we'll watch these here in a second because they're a little bit longer. But I do have these. Where are they? There. So watch some Xbox things. I don't know. So World Tanks. Okay.
What is a hero? I see them all around me. It's my brothers and sisters.
Gotta get the side talk prepared.
For all they've done to make sure we as soldiers and countless others could come home safe. Even when the odds are against you and things seem impossible, a hero rises. They fight. They resist. They protect.
And this is Xbox stuff, by the way. If you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, check out that game, World of Tanks. Let's see, Radeon 3, Hokkaido, Yamax, Maniacs. All right. Well, there is that. See, Star Trek Online. Okay.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Oh yeah. Star Trek. Baby. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Oh, I'm muted. That's enough for me, dog. Oh, yeah. Really don't know sometimes when I'm muted. How long? I don't know. Happens a lot. All right. That guy got crunched. Okay. All right. Crunch. Jumanji World Adventures.
Welcome, adventurers!
What is this?
The sky has gone dark. The animals have gone
Why does this
wild.
look like
This can
PlayStation
only
2
mean one
graphics?
thing. Someone has stolen the jewel of Jumanji. Best prepare yourselves.
Oh
The jewel won't find itself, you know.
no. What are they doing?
Stay safe out there.
Okay. But before we jump back into Diablo, goodness, we are going to take a trip to New York. Let's see.
Are we lit or what?
Shout out to Side Talk New York.
Oh shit! First annual Side Talk Snowball fight. We lit. Oh shit! Yo, what's up? This is giving me flashbacks. What's good? Oh,
What?
I just got hit in the dick.
You're not smoking
Zah. What you doing? What the fuck y'all niggas doing? Light up. Smoke up. I gotta cop the Zaza. I gotta buy. Look. He's down bad. What happened? Down bad, bro. Oh fuck. I dropped the Henny and this is my punishment. Oh! RP pop, man. RP pop. We ain't no bubba that nigga, but big bubba down here. Fuck you talking about? You know the gang. Name one nigga that's doing this shit with the gang. Let's go. We outside, nigga. We outside. We don't like this nigga. First of all, he ain't got no hat. He got a bald head. And his arms don't match his fucking body. So you know what we gonna do to this nigga? We gonna fuck this bitch ass nigga up. Fuck his ass up. Give me my Hennessy. Fuck his ass up. Fuck his ass up. Fuck his ass up.
Messing up a snowman.
Fuck that Wall Street shit. Stop talking. Joe Biden, when I see you, I'm gonna smack the shit out you because I ain't get my stimulus yet. I need my fucking stimulus. I'm gonna come to Washington and I'm gonna smack the shit out you if I don't get my stimulus by Monday. If you're not tuned in to South Talk, what the fuck are you doing? One of these hot dogs, you're not a New Yorker. Yo, I just seen the most wickedest shit ever. This nigga just sprayed Lysol on his blunt, y'all. And you see me? And he's still about to smoke that shit. Yo, word to my mother, I don't know nothing about no stocks, y'all. I don't even know this was Wall Street. I thought this was just downtown. Yo, we gonna blow New Jersey up. No funny shit. And you see me? Whoa, nigga say I'm from Jersey. Fuck you talking about?
So if you can invest in any stock, what would it be?
Shit, I'm investing in Pornhub. I'm investing in Zaza. Hold on. Unemployment was a stock. I'm investing in that shit too. Is you shit me? Hey, yo, say fuck Donald Trump.
Короче, все заебе.
All right, Zaya did, huh? Okay.
Fuck Trent. Y'all niggas know the fucking vibes. I'm hosting this shit. Side Talk NYC. I did it up. I came all the way to Times Square to show niggas what's the fucking vibe. Shout out to my son that's gonna be born soon, man. For real, man. I love that nigga. NYPD wanna suck dick. Why them niggas is mad for? Fuck the police. They not here no more. I'm tight. They just made me throw my fucking bottle away. That was my fucking Migos. But y'all niggas can suck my dick. My son is a gymnastic master. He's about to do the shit that you never think that he could do. Clear it out. Clear it out. Clear it out. Let's go. Hype him up. Hype him up. Hype him up. Hype him. Oh, shit. What the fuck was that, nigga? Oh, shit. Hey. Hey. Y'all know who my celebrity crush is? The naked cow lady. You know that bitch with the titties that be out? That's my bitch. If I had her here right now, I'd have caressed her, loved her, sucked her, but she's not here right now. Look at this fit. Captain America don't even wear this, nigga. The fuck is this? This nigga got a book bag on that got a fucking... Yo, we out.
Oh, man. I love it, though.
I'm Bitch Assault and I'm the heavy metal ambassador of NYC.
So what's a day in the life of bitchin' style?
Oh, that's fucking easy. Banging my head till I'm fucking dead and fucking goddamn mossing like a goddamn animal. Waynesboro, party time. Come on, let's hear the fucking heavy metal scream, dude. Yo, it's time for fan fucking Psychosocial.
Bitchin'.
Totally bitchin' style. You like heavy metal, dude?
Fuck yeah, baby.
What's your fuck yeah, dude? Bitchin' style. What's the last concert you went to?
Juice World.
What do you want to say to all the metal chicks out there?
Oh, very simple. If you're ready to be bitchin' with bitchin' styles, come fucking smoke some weed and I'll give you the shocker, dude. I'm gonna be like, bitch!
Hey, yo, what's up, Purple Haze? Let's go. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Nice to see you.
Yo! You want your side talk? Suck my dick, bitch! Suck my dick! Yo, fuck the quarantine, bitch! Got me fucked up. I ain't staying the fucking side. I was out there every motherfucking day. What's good? Mayor de Blasio, get my ass, bitch!
Your voice has been subject to a lot of controversy. People are saying it's fake. What do you want to say to
Man,
them?
let me tell you something. Suck my dick! I always been sound like this, bitch! What's up? Yo, I ain't broke. I don't ride no damn bitch ass MTA. Look at that shit. Real New Yorkers, we ride fucking trucks. Feel me? Grip that bitch and you out that bitch. It's brick outside. What's up? Suck my dick. What's good, bitch? Suck my dick. I'm raised in New York, bitch. The fuck where you from? Ohio? That's what I thought so. Shut the fuck up. 2 times for the birthday, bitch. 3 times for the birthday, bitch. It's her birthday, y'all. You know you better get the good shalong tonight. Yeah, how you feel about Ellen DeGeneres? Ellen DeGeneres? Fuck that bitch! Give me some fucking money, bitch! I want 10K! Man, I want a house!
I love it. Every time, just random. I also need to figure out who that is. No, I'm just kidding. Ask me for a friend. No, all right, here comes, I don't know, it might be boring for some, but I have no idea what this is. So, yeah, Diablo stuff. Pretty much going to be playing this for the rest, and then playing a little bit more stuff there. Let's see. No idea what this is.
Well, that evil is inevitable and can never
Let's find out.
Destroyed. It can be banished. It can be thwarted. It can be driven back, but only for a time. Men are weak. Evil is seductive. And those who would do nothing in the face of malevolence are cowards. You seek a weapon against the darkness rising in Sanctuary. The only thing I can arm you with is knowledge. So when evil finds a foothold and flourishes once again, at least I can say it was not due to ignorance. For untold eons, an eternal conflict has raged between the demonic hordes of the burning hells and the angelic host of the high heavens. Scholars have spilled gallons of ink and spent their eyesight in dim scriptoriums, writing and debating how these two factions began, and what came before them, before us. It is said the first being, Anu, was the sum of all things, good and evil, light and dark, physical and mystical, joy and sadness, the one. Anu wished to be free from the malignance of evil, and so separated and expelled the darkness within. But what is cast off does not simply disappear, and that darkness found its shape in the seven-headed dragon, Tathamat, the prime evil, who fought ceaselessly with Anu to their mutual destruction. It is said, when the remains of these two titans settled, the universe as we know it came into existence. All the realms of the high heavens, the burning hells, and pandemonium. Tathamat's blackened husk gave birth to the burning hells, and each of the seven heads transformed into the seven great evils, each with dominion over their own realm. The three most dominant of these inherited the title of Prime Evil, feeding off one another to maintain dominion and rule over the legions of the burning hells. There was Mephisto, Lord of Hatred, intelligent and cunning, father of Lucian and Lilith, the mother of Sanctuary. Baal, Lord of Destruction, corrupter of the World Stone. And Diablo, Lord of Terror. As Deckard Cain once wrote, for as long as man fears the dark, Diablo will remain the most insidious and, I would argue, the most powerful of all the evils. The four lesser evils, no less dangerous to the people of Sanctuary, are not to be discounted on the basis of their title. Underestimating their capabilities and intentions is a sure path to our destruction. Belial, Lord of Lies, uses poisonous untruths to create an ever darker, fractious world. Juriel, Lord of Pain, revels in the cacophonous screams of those in physical agony. Even demons are no stranger to his torment. Andariel, the Maiden of Anguish, is the counterpart of Juriel. Whereas he delights in bodily torment, Andariel derives pleasure from anguish of the mind and soul. Azmodan, the Lord of Sin, a clever manipulator and master of temptation, loves vice in all its forms, but revels most in the failures of others. Demonic hordes spawn from the vile cavities of the burning hells, a host of ravenous, furious monstrosities that reflected the poisonous elements of the progenitor. There are demons beyond counting in the burning hells. At the center of the high heavens lies the crystal arch, said to be formed of Anu's spine. When it vibrates in perfect harmony, an angel is created, embodying an aspect of what Anu had once been. The purest of these become archangels, and 5 rose above the rest to lead the host of the high heavens. Imperius, Archangel of Valor, a brilliant tactician who commanded the warriors of heaven and led them into battle with hell, but whose pride has led to much destruction. Tyrael, former Archangel of Justice, who abandoned his rigid dedication to justice and took up the aspect of wisdom instead. He supported the many causes of humanity, renounced his angelic nature, and fell to earth as a mortal. Sanctuary would have fallen to darkness long ago without his aid. Inarius, creator of Sanctuary, served under Tyrael and was an advisor to the council until he rebelled. Auriel, the Archangel of Hope, who embodies the shining light of a bright future and sees the potential for good in all things, but who is no less a warrior than the others, dispatching those who spread despair and darkness. She is said to lead the chorus of the high heavens in harmony. Ethereal, the Archangel of Fate, who comprehends the tangled web of fate and time, though the future of humanity remains obscure to him, unseeable because we are not of the natural order of creation. Malthael, the former Archangel of Wisdom, who fell to darkness and brought ruin to Sanctuary when he abandoned the aspect of wisdom and took up the aspect of death. I encountered him once, long ago, and barely escaped with my life. Few who met him after his transformation survived. After all, no one can stop death. These 5 archangels formed the Angiras Council and ruled heaven in harmony until Malthael abandoned heaven. The council fell to confusion and dissension. Their unity diminished. Alongside heaven and hell, there is a third realm, and this is where our next story begins and ends. Where Anu and Tathamet slew one another, the violence scarred the cosmos and birthed the plane of pandemonium. It was here the World Stone, also called the Eye of Anu, came to rest. A mountain-sized artifact of infinite power that embodied the endless cycles of birth and death, destruction and creation. Desire to control its infinite power fueled the eternal conflict, until Inarius and Lilith stole it, and used it to create Sanctuary. The hour grows late, the fire is dying, and the cold is unrelenting. Come back if you're still alive, and I'll tell you the tale of our creation. Of our creators, Lilith and Inarius, mother and father of Sanctuary, and the long, bloody history of the eternal conflict. For now, We should rest. And I pray your dreams are not as dark as mine.
All right, wow. Pretty interesting. All right, let's see if this one
Turned
Sanctuary.
with ale this time. A wise choice for this dark story. The shadows will seem longer when it's done. Before we talked of Anu and Tethamet, the high heavens and the burning hells, and all who reside there, embroiled in the eternal conflict. Now let us speak of the creation of Sanctuary, and our creators, Inarius and Lilith, angel and demon, our father and mother. The eternal conflict raged on, endless and all-consuming. Led by the Angiras Council, the angelic forces fought countless battles against the armies of the 7 demon lords, who sought to conquer all of creation. Though the high heavens often defeated their adversaries, they also failed to destroy them, allowing evil to return again and again and again, ceaseless, unrelenting. Both sides claimed victories. Both suffered crippling defeats. The conflict was a never-ending slaughter. Many of these battles were fought in pandemonium, the plane said to be formed from the violent death of Anu and Tethamet, where the heart of creation lay, the mountain-sized artifact that would come to be known as the World Stone, housed within the Pandemonium Fortress. Any who control the World Stone would have the power to create new worlds, or unmake them with a thought. A desirable and dangerous prize indeed. It became the focus of the eternal conflict. Over the eons, the Pandemonium Fortress changed hands many times. It became a strange place, embodying the warped reality of Pandemonium as a whole, a structural and liminal place, affected by the high heavens and burning hells alike. Angels and demons, too numerous to count, have fallen at its gates, over and over and over again. This endless cycle caused Inarius, advisor to the Angiras Council and under Tyrael's command, to eventually conclude that the war could never be won, and he resolved to abandon it. Elsewhere, Lilith, daughter of hatred, was arriving at a similar conclusion. On her father Mephisto's role in the eternal conflict, Lilith once wrote, "My father is content to fight the same battles and the same foes while everything turns to ashes. The war will never be won so long as he and his brothers lead. There is an end to it, but fools like my father are too blind to see it." Inarius and Lilith, angel and demon, separated by a vastness in distance and experience that is difficult to comprehend, they came to the same conclusion. They must escape the eternal conflict. I wonder if the cosmos had ever contemplated such an unholy alliance and divine union. I wonder if creation shuddered in horror and awe, as Inarius and Lilith gathered others to their cause, fellow renegades, seeking escape from the ceaseless fighting.
Yeah, that's not
The details
good.
of their meeting, like so much of our history, is obscured by the relentless passage of time and myth. But the great heraldic scholar Deckard Cain tells us of Inarius, wounded or marooned in the Pandemonium Fortress, meeting with Lilith. Lilith was not spared the hatred of her father Mephisto, and from time immemorial had awaited an opportunity to rebel. For the first time, combatants in the eternal conflict not only set aside their differences, but also formed a union. It's difficult to imagine, but legends tell us that Inarius and Lilith forged an alliance that
I'm
would
actually gonna
alter
watch the rest of
course
these.
war,
I didn't know that
reality
these were
itself,
like this.
and all of existence.
It's helping me
Inarius and
understand the
Lilith
story
pledged
and
themselves
stuff
to their
too.
joint cause of escaping the eternal
And you too,
conflict.
as well.
United in purpose, both resourceful and wise in their way, they managed to gain control of the World Stone and hide it from the watchful eyes of the heavens and the hells. Working together, they shifted the World Stone into a pocket dimension, hiding it from the opposing powers of the eternal conflict. There, they used its extraordinary power to shape a new world. A refuge, free from war, free from unending strife. A sanctuary. The renegade angels and demons came together to create new life, and the nature of the eternal conflict changed. The joining of the opposing natures within these firstborn made beings unlike any before. Beautiful abominations called Nephilim, from which humanity would one day descend as inheritors of both lineages. The birthrights of the firstborn graced them with the potential to resist the evil of the burning hells and to defy the dominion of the high heavens. Because of this, many of the angels and demons who rebelled with Lilith and Inarius feared what these children might become. The burden of children can strain even the strongest of allies, and it seems that angels and demons are not immune to this simple truth. Surely Inarius and Lilith could not have foreseen the cosmic consequences of their actions. Inarius was alarmed when he realized that his children might surpass both angels and demons in potential. The other angels and demons fought fiercely over what should be done, whether to spare the Nephilim or exterminate them. The descent between the two groups alarmed Inarius, who called for a period of reflection. Lilith, driven into a mad frenzy by the threat of her children's extinction, ruthlessly murdered each and every renegade angel and demon, leaving only Inarius to discover the carnage she had wrought. Horrified by the loss of his comrades at Lilith's hand, Inarius became enraged. But still he could not kill Lilith. Instead, he banished her from the sanctuary they had created together. Inarius then attuned the World Stone to diminish the powers of the Nephilim over time, and disappeared in the aftermath. As their strength faded generation by generation, they came to resemble mortals, no longer angelic or demonic, simply human. And as their power diminished, so too did their collective memory, until only legends of what came before remained. It is said that the firstborn remained immortal and undying as humankind took shape, giving rise to the cultures, kingdoms, and tribes of Sanctuary, before themselves fading into myth. Now you know, the birth of our world and our inheritance, demonic and divine. The eternal conflict that rages ceaselessly in each of us.
That's crazy.
Think on that, young scholar, until we meet again. None of us is above sin or immune to evil's seduction. Even the most righteous may fall.
Alright, it's going to be a little bit longer tonight, but you know, we gotta watch these. These are pretty good.
Another night, and you brought more ale. Stronger stuff this time.
But shout out to Purple Haze for coming on by tonight. As far as the Diablo 4 giveaway, still trying to figure out the winner for that.
Long, sad tale of bravery
stay
and betrayal. And the great blight of destruction changed the very fabric of our world. When last we spoke of Inarius and Lilith and humankind's creation. How humanity found itself caught by the eternal conflict. A battle that does not belong to humankind, but one we must fight nonetheless.
But it's pretty much
Two
cut
rival
off at
groups,
this point now.
The Temple of the Triune and the Cathedral
So
of
you
Light
can't get into
sprang
it
up on the
if you're
world of
really
Sanctuary
worried.
and strove to win over the hearts of mankind. The Triune was secretly backed by the three prime evils, Mephisto, Baal, and Diablo, who had discovered Sanctuary's existence. Inarius secretly founded the Cathedral of Light in response, an attempt to counter their malevolent influence. Unbeknownst to either the prime evils or Inarius, Lilith returned to Sanctuary to reawaken her children's dormant powers, knowing they had the ability to banish the agents of the burning hells and Inarius for good. Soon after, Sanctuary was engulfed in what would become known as the Sin War, a catastrophic proxy war over the souls of humankind. Humanity won the war, but they faced another kind of battle. The high heavens, too, became aware of Sanctuary and her blasphemous children, and now deliberated on humanity's ultimate fate. With the Angiras Council split, the Archangel Tyrael cast the final vote to spare us from extermination. Instead, the memory of all that came before was taken from humankind, including knowledge of their inherited power. In exchange for their part in leaving Sanctuary alone, the burning hells took Inarius into their custody, and it is said that he has suffered unending torment at their hands ever since. Of course, it is not the nature of the burning hells to leave well enough alone, and before long, more attempts to corrupt humankind were underway. The lesser evils, led by Azmodan and Belial, staged an uprising that upset the established order of the burning hells. Convinced the prime evils had abandoned the eternal conflict in favor of corrupting humanity, the usurpers set out to banish the three prime evils to Sanctuary. They lost fully 1/3 of their army, but they succeeded in banishing Mephisto, Baal, and Diablo into the mortal realm in what would come to be known as the Dark Exile. They spent decades spreading terror, hatred, and destruction across the land. It is here that the story of the Haradrim begins, when Tyrael assembled a group of powerful mages and tasked them with humanity's defense, standing fast against the tyranny of the prime evils and guarding against the wrathful eyes of the heavens, falling upon humankind once again. Tyrael carved 3 soul stones from pieces of the World Stone, crystalline prisons designed to contain the malignant essence of a prime evil. Sapphire for Mephisto, Amber for Baal, and Crimson for Diablo. Under Tyrael's guidance, the Haradrim searched across the vastness of Sanctuary for the Lords of Hell, with the aim to contain them. The Haradrim found Mephisto, and after much struggle imprisoned him. The Sapphire Soulstone was given to the Zakarum for safekeeping. They also battled Baal, but in the process the Soulstone intended for him was shattered. The Order's leader, Tal Rasha, trapped Baal's essence in the largest shard of the Amber Soulstone, but feared that was insufficient. The Haradrim concluded they could fuse the shard to a human body in an effort to better contain Baal's power. Tal Rasha selflessly volunteered his own body to contain the Lord of Destruction's raging essence. Tyrael himself took up the solemn duty of driving the shard into Tal Rasha's heart. The grieving Haradrim sealed away their noble leader within a subterranean tomb, believing they were leaving him to suffer torment beyond imagination as he struggled to hold fast the monstrous Lord of Destruction for all of time. In the wake of this tragedy, Jared Kane took leadership of the bruised and battered mages. Together, the Haradrim spent nearly 10 years following Diablo's path of terror through Sanctuary, until finally coming to blows and containing him within the Crimson Soulstone. Diablo's Soulstone was carefully hidden deep in a labyrinthian cave system by the Haradrim. To guard the great evil hidden in its depths, a Haradric monastery was built atop the caves. The hope, I believe, was that it would never be disturbed, and that Diablo would be forgotten in the great below, his influence fading with time. But that was not to be. No prison can last forever. So long as a key exists, its door can be opened. The land near that small monastery would eventually be settled, and the quiet, prosperous town of Tristram was founded there. None could have known, except perhaps Diablo, the grim fate that would befall the unfortunate souls that called Tristram home. Over time, foreign powers influenced the land, and Tristram became politically significant. At the behest of the Zakarum Church, and guided by Archbishop Lazarus, a Zakarum lord named Leoric crowned himself King of Kandurus and made Tristram his capital. He converted the old Haradric monastery into his seat of power, unaware of the threat that lurked beneath. Leoric was wise and just, ushering in an era of peace and prosperity for Tristram. But with time, his outlook darkened, and he grew irrational, his mind slipping towards madness and paranoia. King began ordering the execution of any who questioned him. People started calling him the Black King. He declared war on the neighboring kingdom of Westmarch, in part thanks to Lazarus's counsel, an unjust and unwinnable war. Leoric's eldest son, Aiden, joined the fight, seeking approval from his father. Shortly after Aiden's departure, Leoric's youngest son, Albrecht, went missing. Leoric tortured and executed many of his own people in his frenzy to find his son. His knights, freshly returned from the war and appalled at the state of their kingdom, were forced to slay the Black King to stop the brutality. In an attempt to honor the man he had been, Leoric was given a proper burial in the old catacombs. Aiden too returned to find a kingdom in shambles. Rumors of the horrific happenings in Tristram spread, along with the news of the appearance of demonic creatures, and brought adventurers to Tristram. 2 such adventurers joined Prince Aiden when he entered the catacombs to find his brother Albrecht. During this harrowing journey, Aiden was forced to strike down his own father, who had been reanimated as a foul entity called the Skeleton King. Continuing on, Aiden soon found Diablo himself. After a great battle of fire and steel, the Lord of Terror was defeated. But this ending is not a happy one. For Diablo had twisted young Albrecht's body into his own demonic form. In slaying the demon, Aiden had slain his younger brother. Distraught, Aiden pulled the Soul Stone from Albrecht and plunged it into his own body. In the weeks that followed, Aiden would seek comfort with a local witch named Adria. Slowly succumbing to Diablo's influence, Aiden eventually traveled east from Tristram and became known as the Dark Wanderer, set on liberating Baal and Mephisto. As the Dark Wanderer traveled east, a new group of adventurers arrived in Tristram. They rescued Deckard Cain from the ruins of Tristram, who implored them to give chase. Soon the party found themselves taking part in a dangerous pursuit of the Lord of Terror. Following the Dark Wanderer's path towards the tomb of Tal Rasha, the adventurers would face the lesser evils of Andariel and Duriel, who had rallied to Diablo's aid. Instead of Tal Rasha, they discovered Tyrael imprisoned in the tomb. Baal, still using Tal Rasha as a vessel, had escaped imprisonment to join Diablo in his guise as the Dark Wanderer. Together they had overcome Tyrael and trapped him in the prison he'd made for Baal so long ago. The heroes pressed on to find Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, deep in the jungles of Kurast. Once more, the heroes were too late to stop Diablo, as he shed what little of Aiden remained, reverting to his monstrous demonic form before returning to the burning hells to rally his demonic legions. Mephisto remained behind, believing he could defeat the brave pursuers. His confidence was misplaced. The Lord of Hatred was defeated and sealed in the Sapphire Soulstone. The heroes followed the Lord of Terror into the burning hells, thinking only of Sanctuary and not the grim fate that likely awaited them there. At Tyrael's request, the heroes confronted the corrupted angel Isuel on the Plains of Despair. In slaying him, the heroes freed Isuel's spirit, and he informed them that the prime evils knew how to corrupt the Soulstones. With this information, Cain sent the heroes to the Hellforge to destroy the Sapphire Soulstone, in the hopes that this would prevent Mephisto from manifesting in this world ever again. Once there, they had to defeat a demon called Hephasto the Armorer, a towering monstrosity with wide horns. His powerful arms strengthened by thousands and thousands of strikes with his Hellforge hammer against the anvil. After successfully destroying the Sapphire Soulstone, the heroes traveled deep into the wastes of the burning hells to face the Lord of Terror himself. They fought a fierce, pitched battle against increasingly dire odds deep in Diablo's own realm. But the heroes fought and defeated Diablo. They pulled the shard from Diablo's head, trapping his essence inside, and returned to the Hellforge to destroy it as well. With this momentous achievement, only Bale remained to threaten Sanctuary. Unfortunately for us, even one primeval can unleash inconceivable devastation. As the heroes struggled with Diablo in Hell, Bale, Lord of Destruction, set his demonic army on a course to Mount Arreat, annihilating all in his path on the way to his prize, the World Stone. Survivor accounts describe the primeval atop his litter, surveying the barbarian city of Secheron with ravenous malice and an insatiable lust for carnage. His vision for Sanctuary was a wasteland stained with blood. It is both humbling and horrifying to know how close he was to achieving that goal. Thanks to the bravery of the barbarians in the town of Harrogath at the base of Mount Arreat, Bale's army was temporarily repelled, buying time enough for reinforcements and the heroes that had slain Diablo and Mephisto to arrive. They fought their way through Bale's army, up the mountain, and finally into the very heart of Sanctuary, the World Stone Keep. Though our heroes ultimately defeated Bale, they could not stop his poisonous malice from infecting the World Stone. A difficult choice had to be made, and so it was. Tyrael chose to destroy the World Stone rather than let it fall to corruption. He hurled his great sword Eldruin at the World Stone, shattering it. Some of its shards fell to earth, imbued with power. The World Stone was nearly as large as the mountain that housed it, and its destruction turned the imposing peak of Mount Arreat into nothing more than a vast crater. Local settlements and tribes scattered to the wind, many forced to seek new homes. And it is in this new world, deeply wounded by the treachery of the primevals, that the next chapter in our history unfolded. The tragic tale of Lear, Diablo's assault on heaven, and Malthael's betrayal, and why so few of us remain. Come in, sit down.
All right.
Let all the bloody heat out.
Last one.
This is the coldest night I can recall in
This is
frozen
crazy.
waste. I'm no chef, but I've managed a stew from what little food remains. Fortify yourself, for this is the final story I have to tell you, and you will need your strength to endure. This is the tale of the end of days. I told you of the brave heroes that defeated Diablo and Bale, and of the destruction of the World Stone and Mount Arreat by Tyrael, the Archangel of Justice. In the aftermath, his essence dispersed, and though no angel had done so before, Tyrael was able to restore his form in the realm of Pandemonium. After decades away, Tyrael returned to the high heavens. There he tried to convince his fellow members of the Angiras Council that they were meant to protect the innocent, and that the fate of humanity was pivotal to the future of embodying the aspect of wisdom. And for a moment, it seemed like Sanctuary might see peace. But, as you know, well, peace does not last.
What a crazy story.
All was not
Love
well
it.
with the high heavens. Decades before Diablo's assault on the high heavens, Malthael had abandoned the council, the heavens, and his position as the aspect of wisdom. The ravages of the eternal conflict must have taken their toll on Malthael's mind. I often wonder what he saw had convinced him to forsake wisdom for death. Malthael had long desired an end to the eternal conflict, and finally saw his chance with Diablo's defeat. With the 7 great evils gone, he turned his attention to humanity. But Malthael was not interested in winning our hearts and minds. His solution was far simpler, far colder. To Malthael, humanity would never be more than demon spawn. And for the eternal conflict to reach its conclusion, all demonkind needed to be eradicated. But to achieve his ultimate goal, Malthael had to retrieve the Black Soulstone, which was now in the hands of what remained of the Horadrim. I likely owe my life to Eldarin. In that first confrontation with Malthael, in the black tunnels of the tomb of Rakis, I faced death himself. As my brethren fell and died, I was protected behind a magical shield that Tyrael raised using his sword. When we emerged onto the city streets, we were met with horror beyond comprehension. Prize in hand, Malthael and his reapers laid waste to Westmarch. The grisly slaughter I witnessed there nearly destroyed me. They were harvesting the souls of the people. With each death, Malthael grew more powerful.
Reap your souls, man.
Malthael soon took the Black Soulstone to the Pandemonium Fortress, where he began to manipulate its power. Struggling to find where he had gone, the adventurers turned to the only person on Sanctuary who might know Malthael's location, the traitor Adria. The witch, however, did not wish to cooperate, and transformed into a terrifying monster empowered by blood magic. Delivering final justice against Adria's betrayal, they struck down the abomination and set out for the Pandemonium Fortress to confront Malthael. By the time they arrived, it was too late. Malthael had already sent the Black Soulstone to Sanctuary, and it was fulfilling its dark purpose, tearing the demonic essence out of every single person. Freeing the spirits of their own kin and leaders, the heroes became one with death, and were finally able to fight against Malthael on even ground. A great battle ensued, and in a last-ditch effort to secure victory, Malthael shattered the Black Soulstone to take on the power of the great evil still trapped inside. The heroes valiantly rallied in defense of Sanctuary, the power of the spirits within allowing them to defeat death itself. The aftermath of Malthael's use of the Black Soulstone saw Tyrael gone from Sanctuary and countless dead. What happened to Diablo remains a mystery that haunts me. I chose solitude and ale over futile efforts to bring light back into our world. But there are times, such as this, where I feel hope struggling to take root once more. But to hope for salvation while doing nothing to attain it brings only ruin. I have learned this many times over. Judge a person by their actions, not their words. Lilith has returned. You sense the daughter of hatred in the growing shadows, as do I. I can no longer fight with steel and blood, but perhaps the knowledge I've shared will act as an armor in your own battle with the coming darkness. Take care, young scholar, wherever your path may lead you. I hope for your sake, it leads down a different path than mine.
Wowee. Wow. Well, that's the show for tonight. Shout out to Purple Haze for coming on by tonight. Probably gonna take a mini food break. Still got more stuff that I'm eating and stuff, but we'll be back later with some more Diablo. But yeah, be sure to do the stuff. Like, subscribe, check me out on all the socials. We'll be live here shortly again. Remember, next month we'll go over it again, but it's going to change a lot of stuff. So, which is funny, but we'll have Twitch days and then YouTube pretty much every day, that type of thing. I don't know. It's going to be weird, but we'll worry about that later. But be sure to do the stuff. Check me out on all the socials. And see you guys tomorrow, if not later tonight, on some gameplay. Peace out. SQUIDZ out. Bye.